My father's family came to America in 1902. He was 5 years old at the time, and they left Iași, Romania. It was a place that was not very nice for Jews. There had been pogroms, and so the whole family left. My mother was actually born in America. Her family came over from Russia.
Well, my grandmother came to the United States as a young woman, and probably 13, 14, 15 years old, from Romania. She came as a seamstress, settled in Hartford, Connecticut, and was a very wise and clever woman. I think she realized very early that the way you succeeded or one way to succeed in America was to buy property.
We lived in New Orleans, and there was a Camp Jacobs. It's part of the UAHC movement, the reform movement. And I was asked if I would go and teach pottery there and bring my children. So I did that, and the kids would take a test every year, every summer. And the test was on, all the different simple things about Judaism that anybody should know. And I really didn't know much of anything, and I felt pretty humiliated. I thought here I'd gone to a very good college, and I really didn't know anything about my own religion. So that kind of started a journey for me.
Growing up, I had a fairly traditional Jewish education, like so many people. I went to Sunday school, bar mitzvah lessons, confirmation, and I never really took, so to speak. Went off to college, and I think it was when we moved to Tidewater that I really began to feel I wanted to be an active member of the Jewish community. We happened to meet other Jewish people here who were involved in the Jewish community, and I could see how they were contributing, and it really resonated with me.
I guess, I really believe that the Jewish way of life is a good way of life. And I want to pass on to my children that feeling for Judaism and that connectedness, that I feel to my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, that gift of the legacy of a religious tradition.
I really became intrigued, I must say, with this concept of tikkun olam. There's something about the Jewish tradition where that really resonates with me, that we have an obligation as Jews to make the world better for not only Jews but for all people. So that's really something about the Jewish religion that really is very important for me, that and the tradition of what's going on for the last 4,000 years.
Well, we want to keep synagogues strong, because I really believe that the synagogue is the central institution for Jewish life, for prayer, for coming together as a community, for being there in good times and bad times for each other, for education, for ourselves, for our children. And I feel that I want to keep the synagogue that strong institution for not just my children, but for all of our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I think people learn probably from seeing people they respect and love do. I'm not a great believer in talking. I think that if they see you doing the right thing, I do think that it's important to be inclusive.
I think certainly this Life and Legacy program began when Betsy was either president of the synagogue or just becoming president of the synagogue. And because of that, I felt a very strong affinity to leaving a gift to Congregation Bethel.
I'd like to be remembered as just a person who tried to do the right things and was kind, who always gave 100%, who was very grateful for a wonderful husband and terrific kids, and fortunate to have parents who understood the value of education.
And likewise too, I guess I would like to be remembered as a good husband, a good father and a grandfather, someone who was committed to the Jewish community here and abroad, and have tried to do my little thing to make the world a little bit better for future generations. I guess my message would be to listen to the professionals at Tidewater Jewish Foundation. Think about leaving a legacy gift. It's so easy to do, it's painless, and once you make that commitment, it makes you feel so good that you're doing something to ensure the future of the Jewish community here in Tidewater and around the world.